Dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Manzoor Ahmed, lecturer history. Our today's question for 12th class students of history subject is: what were the political causes of the revolt of 1857? Dear students, in previous lecture we talked about the economic causes of the revolt. Today we shall talk about the political causes of the revolt of 1857. Dear students, we know that the British East India Company started its rule over India with the Battle of Plassey by defeating the Nawab of Bengal, namely Siraj-ud-Dowla. And after winning Battle of Plassey in 1757, British East India Company fought another war, that is Battle of Buxar, in 1764. And in this battle, this Mir Qasim was defeated. As a result of the victory in the Battle of Buxar, the British East India Company was able to gain control or occupy the areas of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. And with the occupation of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa in 1764, British East India Company started an unending process of conquering and occupying different regions, areas, and states of India. And by occupying and conquering different states and regions of India, the rulers who were ruling already there, the local rulers who were already ruling there, they were dethroned. And these rulers had been ruling in these states, their dynasties, their families had been ruling in these regions or states from ages. As a result, when the rulers in different states of India were dethroned and their states were taken into direct control by the British East India Company, all these rulers within no time were turned from rulers into beggars. And these rulers got highly antagonized, got highly annoyed at all their privileges and facilities and all their throne. This all was snatched from them, so they waited for an opportune time to start a revolt against the British East India Company. And the time came in 1857 when a revolt was started, and these rulers, these annoyed rulers who had been, whose states had been snatched from them, whose regions had been snatched from them, who had been dethroned from their thrones, in their states, these rulers thought it congenial to take their revenge against the British East India Company by giving active support to the revolt of 1857. Dear students, we need to understand that British East India Company in India adopted two expansionist policies. Two policies with the help of which they wanted to expand their rule in India, and conquer more and more of this areas of India and bring them under direct control of British East India Company. These two policies were subsidiary alliances. Subsidiary alliances was basically an expansionist policy, a policy with the help of which British East India Company wanted to bring more and more Indian areas under direct British control. This policy was implemented by Lord Wellesley in 1798. This Lord Wellesley was the Governor General of India at that time. This policy, these alliances had a number of features, and any Indian ruler who entered these alliances, this policy, that's the alliance of subsidiary alliances, that's the policy of subsidiary alliances with the British East India Company, had to accept a number of obligations and orders of the British East India Company. And the most important order of the British India Company that the ruler of a state who signed this alliance had to accept was that the ruler had to keep a quota of British troops, the quota of the troops of the British East India Company in his region, in his area, and pay salary to that quota, to that contingent of soldiers or the troops of the British East India Company in his area. And the ruler who signed this alliance was told that this quota of troops was kept in his area, not to invade him but to protect him from internal and external dangers. Therefore, we need to understand a number of rulers of India signed this alliance, like Nizam of Hyderabad, like Nawab of Surat, Nawab of Awadh, we can say a ruler of Mysore, Maratha Peshwaji Bajirao II, several other Maratha chiefs like Sindhya, Bhosle, Gaikwad, rulers of several Rajput states, Raja of Travancore. So all these rulers and Nawabs of different states of India accepted these subsidy alliances, and all these kept a quota of British troops in their areas. And when all these rulers with the passage of time turned weak, British East India Company used these troops for occupying the areas of these rulers, which they had kept, which they had stationed in the areas of these different rulers, and rule which completely antagonized and dissatisfied or enraged these rulers with the British East India Company. Similarly, another policy, that is the policy of doctrine of lapse. This policy of expansion was introduced in 1848, and according to this policy, if the ruler of a protected state died, protected Indian state died, protected means that state where British East India Company had stationed troops, which was protected by the British East India Company, and if the ruler of the British of that protected Indian state died without a son of his own, then after his death, his state, his region was not to pass on to his adopted son or cousin or any other relative or brother, but his state after his death was to be annexed by the British East India Company. And by implementing this doctrine, Lord Dalhousie occupied the status of Satara in 1848, Jaipur at Sambalpur in 1849, Bhagat in 1850, Udaipur in 1852, Jhansi in 1853, and Nagpur in 1854. And when the areas of all these regions were snatched, were occupied by British India Company on the pretension of doctrine of lapse, the ruling class of these states and the general masses got highly antagonized with the British India Company and waited for an opportunity to take revenge. So the rulers who got antagonized because of subsidy alliances and doctrine of lapse, all these rulers combined and played an important role in fueling the revolt of 1857. It is believed that the annexation of Awadh was a historic blunder by the British East India Company. It is believed that the Nawabs of Awadh had been totally loyal to the British East India Company from 1757. However, British East India Company was determined to bring this Awadh into the direct control of British East India Company and occupy it. There were some various political and economic reasons on account of which the British East India Company wanted to take Awadh into its direct control. As a result, we understand that the Nawab Awadh Wajid Ali Shah could not be brought under doctrine of lapse as he had many sons. Ultimately, the British East India Company waited for an opportunity and accused Nawab Awadh Wajid Ali Shah of misrule and accused him of not introducing the reforms of the British East India Company in Awadh, and ultimately Nawab Awadh was dethroned in 1856 and his state of Awadh was taken by British into its direct control. As a result of the annexation of Awadh, it is believed that 60,000 soldiers of the Nawab of Awadh were disbanded, were thrown out of services, and 21,000 zamindars of Awadh, their zamindars were snatched from them, they were deprived of their zamindaris, and as a result, 60,000 soldiers were turned jobless, and 21,000 zamindars were turned landless within no time. As a result, the 6,000 soldiers and 21,000 soldiers played a very dominant role ultimately in the revolt of 1857, and the 6,000 soldiers proved to be a fertile recruitment ground for the rebels to recruit them in their ranks and fight violent battles with the British East India Company in the revolt of 1857. Thus, a number of political reasons were responsible for the revolt of 1857, which we have discussed in brief in this lecture. Thank you.